What's up, guys? Devin Zander here with my co-host
Clayton Johnson. I'm back.
We are the motherfucking
Rowdy Boys.
God damn right. And today we have special guest. Introduce
Michael.
yourself. Feel free. Michael.
What?
Just Michael.
Michael Kelly.
Just Michael. He's like, they already know. What are you talking about? You think I got to introduce myself?
Yo, it's great to be here with you guys.
He practiced that line like 7 times before we went live today. We got such a weird setup right now. It's like really disorienting. I don't know where to look. So I'm like looking all over the place. We got a camera here. We got a camera there. We got a TV there, which we can see the setting on. I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, Clayton was out last week. He had the Rona, bro.
All back. I'm good.
How you feel?
I'm back stronger than ever.
Are your testicles still swollen?
Well, that's just how big they are, baby.
Well, dude, today we got Michael Kelly on, man. So we've been working with Michael for quite a while. He's done a lot of funnels for me at Scup. He's got a lot of great clients that he works with too. Real quick, if you don't mind, give us just like a quick 2-sentence intro, like who you are, what your business does, and then from that, I'm going to ask you a question.
It can be more than 2 sentences.
Well,
Yeah.
I want to get more into the backstory,
All right.
but I want to get the 2-sentence overview first.
Yeah, I mean, make it really simple. My business builds funnels that convert on cold traffic, and that's pretty much like one line, super simple.
Is there like a certain type of client you work with typically, or is it just like all coaches, course creators, influencers?
Coaches, course creators, and I'd say influencers as well, just because they do have the knowledge and everything, and we just kind of help them bring that knowledge into a sellable offer that they can actually monetize.
Yeah, totally get that. Same thing that we do here at Roseanne. Well, I guess not here at Roseanne since it's the Rowdy Boys, but like same exact target audience. So I think, and Clayton can correct me if I'm wrong, but something we want to start trying to do is ask people the story of like, how did you decide to get into this business model? Or what's the story behind why you started doing this?
So my story kind of started in the trap house. If we want,
what were you flipping, boy?
It was just cannabis. I always tried to do other shit, but I was a drug addict at the same time, so I'd always do it before I could sell it. Yeah. And, you know, that's kind of where it all started. I realized that I was going to be one of 3 places. I was either going to be locked up in prison, I was going to be 6 feet under and dead, or I was going to be homeless. And for 3 months there, I actually was homeless, living at a hotel. And I didn't have like real income that I could claim. So nobody wanted to rent to me. Nobody wanted to do shit because I didn't really have a job. And one thing kind of led to another. I realized that I needed to get the fuck out of that. And as I sat there watching a YouTube video after I just got done smoking a little bit of a bowl, I got hit with the Here in My Garage ad from Ty Lopez.
Oh my God.
And dude, that ad, I don't know what it was about it, but he said something about like mindset reading and success. And I'd say about 3 hours later, I found myself in Barnes & Noble in the self-help business section.
That's a beautiful place. I love there. I love that, dude.
No, it's like I'm dyslexic, so reading wasn't my strong suit ever. I probably had like a 2nd grade reading level, so I was kind of stupid. I still do, most likely. But I ended up finding the book called Mindset by Carol Dweck, and I'd say 3 months after I got that, I was about 40 pages, 50, 60 pages deep around there, since I fucking suck at reading. And then I just decided, you know what? Enough is enough. I was tired of living with like that fixed mindset mentality, and I knew school was a challenge for me, so I enrolled back into high school and started from the very beginning.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I was, I think, 21 at the time, starting high school from the beginning. I graduated in 2 years with the highest GPA I ever had. Decided I was going to try college out. Went to college for a year. Ended up dropping out of college with like a 3.8 GPA.
Yeah, you were like, fuck all these liberals. This is fucking stupid.
Pretty much.
Bullshit.
Pretty much. I took like a marketing entrepreneur class there, and then was like, you know what? I don't need college. So I hired my first business coach, and kind of he introduced me to the whole ClickFunnels world and the whole like funnels and media buying and shit like that. And everything kind of snowballed from there.
Dude, that's crazy.
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah, I mean, props for that huge transformation. But sometimes, dude, it takes like getting to that really low point to make a change. But there is a time between the low point and when you actually kind of starting to see things work. Like you had to go back to school, then you went to college, then you hired a business coach. So all of that takes a big leap of faith. Did you just like feel like this is fine. I'm gonna succeed because of that book, or what was your thought process taking that leap of faith to get to an actual like success point?
So one of the biggest things that they kind of hit on in the book was like Michael Jordan's story, and they covered like other professional sports players that, kind of like at one point got cut from their team, or they just weren't that fucking good when they first started out. And then they kind of went through their whole transformation and their journey about how they never gave up, and they just like kept going at these challenges head on. And Michael Jordan ended up being one of the greatest, if not the greatest NBA player of all time. And he got cut from his high school team when he was like a junior, or I think it was a junior.
Yeah.
And just kind of seeing that and just realizing like, how I look at it now is like, just because your past is dark doesn't mean your future can't be bright. And that's kind of one thing that I like, the message that I want to share with a lot of people is like, just because you've had a fucked up childhood doesn't mean like you can't have a great adulthood as long as you take the necessary action and go the right path.
Dude, I think that's so important. This is something that we've talked about on the show before. It's something I talked about in my other business before, and I try to help all my customers understand. It's like the locus of control, right? So it's either you have an external locus of control where you make shit happen, or an internal locus of control where shit happens to you. That's like the two types of people out there. There's no in between. It's like you're one or the other. Obviously, you have an external locus of control. What that means is you feel that you have the power to go out there and make shit happen, versus the people who have the internal, who are like, oh, why does bad things always happen to me? I don't have any control. The world isn't like what happens to me or whatever. So, dude, I think that people, A, need to understand that, and B, use it to their advantage. Because when you start thinking that way, it's like your life changes significantly. Because if you think that things happen to you, then life is like fucking miserable, dude, because you think it's impossible to just randomly have success. Like, if you ever see the people who are like, they fucking hate rich people, right? We see it in our town a lot because we got a lot of libs here. And there's nothing wrong with being a liberal, honestly. Like, I know we don't agree eye to eye, but we have some like super liberal people here in St. Petersburg. I'm talking about like the real radical. And I see them wearing shirts that say like, eat the rich and like kill the rich. I swear to God, I saw people wearing shit that said kill the rich. And it's like, I can't fathom why anyone would feel that way, other than the fact that they think that it's impossible for them to achieve, right? Because let's be honest, there's nobody out there who's like, oh, I wish I wasn't rich, or I would hate to be rich. I would hate to have money and be able to do whatever I want.
People that
right?
say that. Yeah.
That's what they say. But it's because they think that they can't get rich. They don't think it's possible for them because shit happens to them. They don't go out there and make shit happen. And if more people adopted that mindset that you have, and that, God, I fucking hope I have, right? Like, fairly certain I do, but dude, the world would just be like a better place. And that is why America was a great place too.
Yep.
Just to like put that out there, because America, it was the American dream, right? Like
Land
we
of
all went
opportunity.
out there. We still are like the most entrepreneurial country in the world. And maybe like Singapore or some other ones are getting really close, but it's like we have a make shit happen attitude that other places don't have, and they don't quite understand it. And I don't know, man. It's just what makes this such a special place. And if we, I don't know, had more of it, and we help these younger generations understand it, it's like, dude, that'd be amazing. Because I'm like you, dude. I come from a shitty childhood too. Like, I never graduated. I still didn't graduate from high school. Like, my mom died when I was a baby, and my grandma raised me by herself. I was homeless when I was like 17. Not for long, luckily, because my grandma took me in. But dude, like, I totally get it. It's one or the other. It's either you fucking take control of your life and you make shit happen, or shit happens to you. So,
I think, what do they say?
Really resonated with me.
What is it? It's money might not buy happiness, but broke don't buy shit.
Right on.
Yeah, you can't get anything, bro.
Like,
I mean, this line is so fucking dumb, but I'm just thinking like Wolf of Wall Street. It's like, look, money might not buy happiness or whatever, but I guarantee you, when you pull up next to your old buddy and he's driving the Porsche and he's got the blonde girlfriend with the big titties, I think he's like happier than you are, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I'd rather be unhappy in the back of a limo wearing a $50,000 Rolex or some shit. I don't fucking know, but
yeah.
I mean, dude, it's true, right? Like, money doesn't necessarily buy happiness, but it does make life better. Like, if you're depressed about shit, you're still gonna be depressed. Like, I mean, we're human, right? We're ruled by chemicals and all this shit, and chemical imbalances and things like that happen, and it puts us out of whack. But I mean, let's be honest, money makes it a lot fucking easier. There's no
100%.
question.
Well, there's a lot more to the money thing than the money itself, because when you actually get the money, it is the significance of an achievement of some sort, right? You've created some sort of value in the world. And when you look back, like we were talking to somebody last week, we asked them like, oh, what does it feel like to see your bank account go, to cross the $1 million mark? And it's like the same thing for everybody. It feels like nothing. So the money doesn't actually change that much. It's when you think about it, it's the all the lessons and all the things that you learned along the way. And I mean, nobody will believe that until it actually happens to you, Yeah. But man, so I'm curious, Mike. So the Carol Dweck book seems like that was one of the pivotal points for you. Like you talked about the Michael Jordan thing. What other kind of lessons do you think were very valuable from that book that you've carried with you?
A lot of it's just like the mindset portion, man. Yeah. Just embracing challenges and really just going out there and just making shit happen instead of, like you said, looking at shit happening to you. Like I could sit there and wallow in my self-pity about how my stepdad was abusive to us, about how I was addicted to drugs, about how I was a high school dropout. But I did that for a couple years, and then I just realized, like, I'm the fucking controller of my life. What I put out there is what I'm going to get back. And if I keep putting bullshit out in the world, then I'm just going to keep getting bullshit back.
Oh. So you kind of left off on the hiring your first business coach, but what happened after that?
So I pretty much, after I hired him, he taught me how to do like cold email and shit like that. And I landed my first client within like 2 weeks.
That's what's up.
$70 a month to run their paid ads. So
70?
Like,
70?
My boys getting paid.
You only need about 3,000 clients to start.
Yeah.
You went home. McDonald's is on me, ladies.
Hey, but everybody's got to start somewhere, though.
Yeah.
To be honest. I mean, it's like really important. What?
I was just saying, like, we joke about, it being a little amount, but like,
oh, dude, right now,
our is a massive accomplishment.
And also our business right now, Roseanne has like small clients too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people pay $50 a month for our software. So, I feel that.
But I went in like for $70 that month because I only had them for 1 month because I tried to raise the price to $500 after that. And he was just like,
he was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are?
Pretty much.
Wait, you're saying that you're going to make me thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars and you want $500 in return?
Yep.
Fuck you, you selfish. Dude,
it's crazy what some of these like business owners, they don't see the actual value that they're going to get.
Well, you can't really blame them though, because look, if they've never been there, they haven't seen it, and you know what I mean? It's like it's a common belief pattern. Your beliefs create your world, and so they just haven't seen it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and I think it's up us to us. Like if you are a salesperson, you're trying to sell someone a service. I mean, half of selling, in my opinion, is inspiring. You know what I mean? Yep. Inspiring that, helping them change their belief that it might be possible. You know what I mean? So I think it's up to us, if you're selling a service, to, I suppose, like, sell the dream. You know what I mean?
Dude, but at the same time, I used to do, bro, you can't be picking your nose on camera. That's on forever. People might not have noticed it, but since I called it out. Dude. So I used to do like local ads for chiropractic people, like everybody did after Sam Oven's course.
This was a restaurant, so yeah.
Yeah, I did that. And our first client was my business partner's dad. He was a successful chiropractor, and we're like, oh, dude, this makes so much sense. And dude, we were making him, like, I swear to God, between $10,000 and $15,000 a month. And we used lead tracking. We used coupons. So they'd have to bring the coupon in, and then they would put it in the CRM so they know that the sale came from us. And dude, yeah, like I said, we're making him 5 figures a month. We were charging him $500, and he canceled. Yeah. He's like, dude, I just don't see an ROI. I'm like, what do you mean? And I yelled at him, and then Mason, oh, okay, so you guys know Mason. It was Mason's dad. And I was like, and then I would see him in person. Like, him and I did not get along after that because it really offended me that he said he didn't see the ROI. And I was kind of like doing this business just to test it out for fun. Because I was just looking for some, extra side money. I had a lot of free time. And, so when I would see him like in person after that, and dude, he hated me. I hated him. It was and Mason was like my best friend at the time. It was
That's hard, dude.
So fucking awkward. But dude, clients do that shit. I've only seen this issue with when I work with local businesses. When I've worked with online businesses, they seem to understand like I mean, dude, I don't know what there to not understand, right? But
Yeah.
I don't know. That shit was fucking
Well, it's
crazy.
hard, man. If you haven't invested that much
But they're
before,
they get cash back same month.
yeah,
Yeah, we did.
It's $500.
Dude, I did $70 for the actual media buying, plus I got a free buffet out of it because it was a Indian
Let's go,
buffet
boys.
restaurant.
They paid you in Indian
Did
food.
you do
That was part of it.
Did you do the design and everything? So did you have like a?
I did the copy for the ads. I did the ad. I went in there and like filmed an actual video, paid somebody to edit the video, and created a sales page or an opt-in page where they could opt in for a coupon, like you were saying. We got I think it was $300 in actual ad spend. We ended up getting, I think it was 37 people to opt in. And out of those 37, we had about 14 of them actually go in and use the coupon, which if you look at like lifetime value and shit like that, they definitely made a positive ROI. But they just...
Well, there is the ad spend cost too. I guess we're not like factoring that in. How much money is spent on ads?
It was the $350.
Yeah, so 70. So they spent 420 total.
Yeah.
70 plus 350. Yeah. Still. Cheap bastards.
So from there, clearly you got a lot more clients since then.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say first year and a half was just fucking trash.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, I think the first year I ended up losing about 30,000 because of all the coaching
how do you
programs and
survive and
courses.
stuff?
Yeah, like how'd you even get 30,000?
Did you like take loans or?
It was the other stuff that I was doing. I had money.
You had some money.
I had money saved up and
Other stuff.
and stuff like that. And then when I sold my house, because I bought a house when I lived in Minnesota, I had a townhouse. When I sold it, I got like 24 grand in cash back or whatever.
Yeah.
I had equity in the property because the price went up astronomically, like just stupid.
Nice.
In the 2 years that I owned it. And that's when I like moved down to Florida, lived at my cousin's house in one of her bedrooms with my ex-wife, and just was going, I think, like 80 hours a week into my business. Wasn't really seeing a positive ROI or anything like that. I got some credit cards out. I hired a mindset coach with like a $10,000 credit card. And the month after I did that, I mixed up my credit card payments. So they took away my 12-month introductory offer. So I was getting hit at 24% interest on $10,000 for like 2.5 years.
Woo!
Like,
That's bad.
yeah, I paid like 10 grand in interest and maybe even more than that in fucking 2 years, man. It was horrible. Yeah. And like then I got divorced, and the week I submitted the divorce papers, I did like 22 grand in sales, and I just felt like free. Like there was a huge weight just lifted off my shoulders and stuff like that. My ex-wife used to tell me that I shouldn't be running a business. She hoped I'd fail and like all this shit. So I just kind of stuck both my middle fingers up and said, you know what, fuck this. I'm gonna prove this lady wrong.
So,
Dude,
is that why you did 22,000 in sales? Because you just were so inspired by what she said, or were you doing like those sales simultaneously?
No, I think it was like after I knew, because for a long time I was like, you know what, I'm not happy in this relationship, and I didn't want to like. I think part of me didn't want to scale the business because I was married, and I was like, okay, if I get a divorce, she's gonna fucking try to take half of it.
Yeah.
And then I'd only own 25% of it. Brittany would own 50%, and then she'd own 25%. So I think kind of part of it there was like, if I do this, like she was already like leaning on me so much that I was literally felt like doing everything, and I just didn't want to be in that position anymore. And I wasn't happy. So I didn't want to like give her a reason to take half of my business when I did kind of submit the divorce papers. And then once I submitted it, all the assets and everything were already inside of the paperwork, and everything was already signed and notarized and all of that. And then it just kind of gave me a reason to kind of like, it was sink or swim at that point, because then it was like all the bills were on me, and I took on pretty much the majority of our debt when we divorced. So that way she lost both of our jobs during COVID, and that's kind of when it all happened. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to like take on all of the debt, which was like 25 or 30 grand in credit card debt that I took on. And like, it just, everything kind of snowballed after that.
It takes a lot of strength, I feel like, to do that. But also, you know, this is the common story of like the hard things, they can make you stronger, you know? And there's definitely levels to your story. It's like every little part of it you had to strengthen up. You know, that first one was where you had that mindset change, and then you had to pay money to a business coach to get to the next level, and the next level was overcoming the relationship, and then now your business is way bigger than that.
Yeah. I'd say so last year, I was still partners with my old business partner and everything there. And we kind of had some struggles and everything kind of with how we were running the business, where we wanted it to go, how much we wanted to work, and what we were actually like doing and who was supposed to be doing what and stuff like that. And I'd say halfway through last year, I just got fucking burnt out. We were doing like 50 grand a month for a few months consistently. And then I kind of let my ego get the best of me. And I was like, you know what? If she's not going to help prospect, she's not going to help bring me any sales calls or anything like that, then I'm not going to bring any sales calls myself. And we'll see how well this kind of business like holds off without me doing shit. Yeah. So we just, and I'd say within 2 months, we were doing like 10K a month and barely able to pay our employees and ourselves. And
it's crazy how much like your mindset can like determine what happens in reality. I mean, you just changed your mind, and then your reality dramatically changed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess from that experience, we talked about, and I was like, look, I can either exit this business and go build my own agency, or like we need to figure something out, because this is fucking all I have. This is what I've been building for the last 3 years. Like, this is all I want to do. I eat, breathe, and sleep copywriting and building funnels and marketing and shit like that. And like this is where my passion lies. This is everything that I want to do. And she's like, you know, I actually have another job opportunity that I can go do. And it's something that she was passionate about as well. And we just had a mutual split where I didn't have to like buy her out or anything. I did take on a little bit of debt with the company and everything like that. But with the direction and everything that I took it since the beginning of this year, we've already almost made more money this year than we did last year. And it's only halfway through.
That's what's up.
That's what's up, baby. So about your business too, let's get into the juicy stuff about the actual operations. So you said that you make offers, you know, scale and allow people to advertise their offers on cold traffic, right?
Yep.
That's like the holy grail. That's what everybody wants. I mean, not everybody, but it's what a lot of people.
All the smart people.
Well, no, not necessarily. I think that there's honestly, the more I learn, the more I realize that there's a lot more than just ads, right?
True.
But,
true.
At the same time, I do think that a lot of people, most offer owners, you know, to get to that first 5 or even their first million, they really want to get cold ads working so they get a reliable front-end acquisition system, and then they can upsell, get CLTV increase, blah, 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 blah. So what's like the formula, man? You seem like you got a bunch of clients you're doing it for. Do you walk them all through the same process? I mean, like, how are you helping these brands generate customers on cold traffic?
Yeah, so like I like to tell people, like every funnel strategy works, but not every funnel strategy will work for your personality and your business structure. If we're going to do like a workshop or a virtual event or anything like that, but you don't have the infrastructure to actually like fulfill on the actual event and to do all the sales calls on the back end and everything like that to bring people through the high ticket, then that's probably not the funnel that we should be doing for you. If you get on camera and you're fucking shy and you suck at presenting and you like if you're just not good at like the presenting part of it, then maybe a VSL or a webinar or a virtual event or a workshop isn't what you should be doing. But if you are really good on sales calls, then maybe a call booking funnel is good for you. If we can do something that is low ticket, bring as many people in as possible, kind of like what Alan talks about and stuff like that, we kind of do that. We've done that with events and we've done that with low ticket products. And I really like doing that because then you can, like that front end offer, they should feel like a little I wouldn't say overwhelmed, but they should feel uncomfortable with what you're actually giving away for the price that you're giving it. Yeah. And that's what I tell my clients is like, a lot of my clients are like, no, we can't do that. They're getting way too much. And it's like, no, that's what the fuck we need to be doing, because guess what? You're going to hyper accelerate that relationship with them because you're over delivering. And if they get that much value for, let's say, $27 and $97, then what the fuck are they going to think that they're going to get when they actually invest thousands of dollars into your actual coaching?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I've seen also is that you can actually upsell the people pretty quickly. Or what are your thoughts on that? I mean, they come in for the front end offer. How, at what time period can people do an upsell to really start seeing the ROI?
Yeah, so like with the events, most of our events are anywhere from 2 to 5 days. Yeah. And we had one event, we brought in 57 people with the actual general admission.
How much was that?
We started at 27 and then we went up to 97 as like the scarcity going through it, and just kind of early bird.
Yeah, under $100, low ticket, front end, getting into the event.
Yep. And then what we did is we built out a $497 VIP offer. Okay. And on that, they actually got a one-on-one coaching call, which essentially was coaching in the first part and then transitioned into a sales call. Okay. So I call that like the paid to pitch model. They're paying you to get pitched in the end. Yeah. But because you're giving so much value throughout that workshop, they ended up closing out of the 57 people that purchased general admission. They had about, I think it was 50, no, they had 23 of them purchased the VIP offer for $497, and they closed 21 of those into their 30K high ticket offer.
30K high ticket?
Yeah.
Damn. Dude.
How many did they close at 30K?
21.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's like $500,000.
Yeah, 630,000. Yeah. And
I'm good at math, man. You can tell.
I am good at math.
All of that was in
I am smart math.
All of that was in 5 days. So I mean, if you provide that value, and like how I like to look at it is like every offer should almost tiptoe them to that next level in your value ladder, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Customer journey, customer experience, all of that. Where let's say you have, we'll look at one of my clients. She had a business where she helped people like leverage social media to launch courses and stuff like that. So we figured, okay, you know what? If we want to bring in like the most unaware market, then we need to teach people how to actually find their expertise and how to build a program around their expertise. So we did like a 5-day challenge where each day, first day was like, okay, who's your target audience? What's your expertise and who's your target audience? Second day was like, okay, what is your offer? Third day was all about like structuring your actual modules. Fourth day was about, okay, what do you need on your sales page and everything to actually bring people through? The last day was a little bit teaser on how to launch to organic traffic and stuff like that. And then the transition was, hey, purchase my $297 a month program, or you can get it right now for $2,500 for the entire year. And just like, how can you tiptoe them throughout everything that needs to be done? We have another client where he has I think it's like $5,500 business coaching offer on the back end. Our first offer is like, okay, how do you generate 20 to 30 sales calls that are qualified every single month? The second offer we're getting in place right now is sales. Okay, now that you're generating these offers, how do you close these offers so that way your closing rate is more than 20 to 30%? And then the next offer after that is going to be putting them into the higher ticket thing. We're converting at about 8% right now on the front end for that $27 offer. And he's already scheduled out of, I think we've had about 30 people purchase because there was some payment issues with, they banned one of his accounts. Then
be careful with your hand right there. You can't put it in front of the camera.
Oops.
It's all good.
They banned one of his ad accounts. So now anytime that his payment method is connected to it, they just shut it down. And
it can happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And shit like that. So we had like 2 weeks where we couldn't do shit.
Use a sister's account, like mom or dad's. You start calling family members you haven't talked to in a few years.
Yeah.
Can I use your Facebook?
Yeah, dude, it's nuts. But we're getting about a 12.5% booking rate of people that purchase that $27 offer to actually book a call for his high ticket. And that's just his setters in there DMing them after they purchase. We currently got a 60-day follow-up in place as well. So that way we have 5 post-purchase emails that go out that kind of direct them back to the course. So that way they actually start going through it. And then after that, we have an 8-piece book a call sequence that is just the first email is like offering them kind of like that hands-on help. Second email is case study. Third email is more about the coaching program that they can actually like book a call for. And all of these, we're pushing them to an actual webinar.
So I want to actually take it back a step because I think that this is all really good stuff, but
yeah.
I think something that would actually be really valuable to people because there's so many people out there who like they kind of understand some of this, right? Like
yep.
They're like, oh, I know I should do a challenge or I should do a webinar or I should just do like a low ticket $3 to $27 front end or whatever it is. And they have this, they're trying it and it's not working for them. Like they run ads and then it's like, oh, well, nothing's happening. So what's like the secret sauce, like what is it that makes an offer sell? Because it's a really saturated market, right? Got every 15-year-old and their cousin has access to ClickFunnels.
Yeah.
All right.
They're all funnel hacking everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's a funny note is I have to say this now because if I don't, I'll forget. But we were watching fucking YouTube yesterday and we see a Russell Brunson ad and he was just talking mad shit about people who copy other people's funnels in the ad. And he's like, yeah, of course your business isn't working. You copied someone else's stuff. It probably worked like 5 years ago, but doesn't work now. And I'm like, bro.
Dude, that's what you tell everybody.
Isn't that your entire business model is telling other people to funnel hack one another? And it's fine. It's an ad, like I get it. Yeah. And I don't know why he's telling people that it's different now. And obviously I have a ton of respect for him. He's so successful. I love everything he does. So I'm not trying to shit talk him or anything. I don't want our viewers to think that. I just thought it was funny. I saw that ad and I'm literally left there like, what? Yeah. Thought you call your fucking people funnel hackers. It's Funnel Hacking Live. It's the name of your event. Isn't that about copying people's funnels? I don't understand. Anyways, so that was just a funny thing that I saw yesterday. But back on topic. But so what is it like when you start working with a coach or an influencer or whatever? Like, what do you need to see from them, or like what do you do to even make that front end offer actually work on cold traffic?
So a lot of it is just reverse engineering that high ticket offer. Like what steps do they actually need to take to get to a point where that high ticket offer makes sense? A lot of it is where are they at throughout that customer journey? If they're more unaware.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about people that haven't bought anything yet. Like how do you get that initial purchase from cold ad to buying a front end offer, So
that, it can get a little bit tricky, and I don't think that there's people will say that there's like a full science behind it and shit like that. Formula. Yeah, but at least I haven't seen an actual formula. We do a lot of testing. Yeah. Like that's why I tell people look, we stay on for 60 days because we can't guarantee that everything that we write right here it's going to sell right away. Yeah. So what we do is we put like the heat maps and everything on, the session recordings and all of that. And we figure out like what parts are they actually dropping off at? Because is it the offer? Is it the copy? There's a huge like middle ground on where you need to kind of make sure that all of those make sense. But I've even found where if you're like, I've seen funnels where people are like get 400 to 600 qualified appointments on your calendar a week. And it's like, every person that I know that is making 7 figures or more, they don't fucking want that many calls. And it's just such an exaggerated claim that I feel like it just kind of throws people off.
So is there a time in the past where you have launched one of these like kind of front end or lower ticket offers and then it didn't work and you've changed it and then it started working, or?
Yeah. So we're in the process of doing that right now. We had a 5-day workshop that the offer was changed a few times throughout what we were doing, and just kind of clarity kind of built up. So instead of doing like the live 5-day workshop, we're doing a 5-day fast track where we're taking everything that was kind of taught through that, but we're putting it in a way that is evergreen. So that way we can test it a lot more instead of just having that long relay of, okay, we have to sell the tickets, then we have to get on the actual workshop, and then we have to close the high ticket on the back end. With this, we can actually hyper accelerate that, and we can end up, you like my hands all?
Yeah, I love it. I'm highly aroused.
This we can actually like hyper accelerate because it's evergreen now. So we don't have that big like lag time of, is it actually going to convert the right people on the back end?
I think this is a really good answer. Just the fact, because I mean, you're totally right that there is no formula, and that's what I've been like trying to tell people. You can have frameworks, and frameworks are good. You follow them, and it cuts a lot of the work. But it's like you still have to test. That's the answer, and that's something that we talked about a lot because we have a few clients that we're working with. It's not really something that we want to do. It's not like something. It just kind of we decided to do it to actually help our Roseanne customers get more success. But it's not like we're actively seeking clients. But one of the things we realized is when we're helping people write the YouTube ads and their webinars, and we're giving them our like ad scripting templates and our webinar templates and all that, Clayton's like, well, I mean, dude, like we really need to make sure that these people understand that it's going to require testing. Like we're giving them exactly what works. And it's proven to work. It's worked across multiple funnels, generated millions of dollars, and we repeat it within our own organizations, and it works. But that doesn't mean that every single thing works. Like, dude, you could take, and like you were saying about people's personality types, that's true too, because you can take the same exact offer with the same exact script and give it to two different people, and one person crushes it, and the other person flops.
Yeah,
I've seen it in my own business. I've seen it in my own business where we had an ad that was generating millions of dollars, and then I re-recorded it, and I launched. Same script, same editing, everything. It was just literally the voiceover changed, right? Same audience, didn't work at all. Yeah. And so it's just crazy how these like small things are, I don't know, just like so impactful, right? And that is like the best answer. If you, because dude, there is a million different ways to skin a cat. And everyone needs to know this. There's no best method. Webinars aren't the best method, right? Like low-ticket sales pages aren't the best method. I mean, there is a best method to communicate with your customers. That's SMS. You'd be fucking stupid. Obviously. Clearly. Right? Sign up at Roseanne.com.
Roseanne.com, yeah.
But it's like they all work. Decide which one makes the most sense for you. And just because it doesn't work the first time doesn't mean it doesn't work. It means you need to keep testing. And when you do think that you have to switch something because it's not working, what you're doing is undoing all the progress you made, all the work you did, and you're starting back over from ground zero, which is fucking dumb. Because even if something doesn't work the first time, you learned. You made progress, and you actually had wins. You just have to learn to view them as wins. Because now you know something that doesn't work, and you know some parts that kind of do work. And you just slowly iterate, and you get rid of the things that don't work. You get rid of the things that don't work. Keep adding more of the things that do work. And all of a sudden, you reach what Malcolm Gladwell calls the tipping point, right? And then boom, it fucking works, and you crush it. Like,
and I think to kind of add on to that, when you have like an offer that just fucking kills it right out of the gate,
and those happen,
that fucks up all the shit that you're doing later on if it doesn't work. Because then you have like that expectations of, like, I'm going to fucking kill it with everything that I do.
So
it's an ego thing.
That's how it was with Evergreen Webinars for me. Because it took, like, dude, when we first started, that first month, we made like $1 million. We're like, that was easy. Oh my God. First recording, first everything, first ad, and then 2 years go by. And we've been running for 2 years, and then it's like, fuck, nothing works. What the fuck? I don't understand. I thought I was a genius. This is fucking stupid.
Just stop working.
Dude, I guess this is another side point. I've been making side points. Like, it's so funny working with salesmen, like trying to record, because all of us are like, just putting our hands everywhere.
Dude, that's good charisma, man.
I know.
Use your hands.
That's funny. But, oh my God, no. Hold on, guys. Pause. I'm stuck on the camera.
Hey, so I love this idea. I know, like, at my time in my last company, we launched over the course of however many years, we launched 15 plus products. And I remember thinking like having this feeling like, oh, dude, this product is going to crush, and then it doesn't. And then also feeling like, oh, this product's not going to do very well, and then it crushes.
Dude.
And it's like, you'll never know, really, man. And the only thing you can do, so I was hearing from you, and this is what I kind of heard, and I think this is a good mindset to go in on, is that you don't know what's going to work. And so you must go in with a trying mindset, a trial mindset, that you were going to test things in the marketplace. And no matter how good your, whatever template you follow is or whatever, templates can rock and they can bomb. They're just a framework. Doesn't really mean much other than that. Second thing that I heard from you is that they almost all have a high ticket, back end, right?
Yep.
No one's only doing low ticket and trying to, make a profit on that low ticket front end. Like that's going to be really extremely hard. It's also hard in our experience as well without having that high ticket. So I think the good mindset, see if you would agree with this, is going with the mindset that we have, number one, we have to have a high ticket backend, or it's extremely beneficial to have a high ticket backend. And then number two, we're going to have to test different front ends. We're probably not going to nail it on the first try, but we're going to get a front end that actually works after trying.
To clarify on that, it's like we don't necessarily mean switching a product entirely.
Yes, that's what I was going to hit on as well.
Eventually, you might need to switch a product. Yeah, so think about this, like with Ad Engage, right? So for those of you who are uninitiated, Ad Engage was just kind of like a side project that we did at Roseanne because we were trying to get capital. So we're like, okay, we'll launch our own low-ticket funnel. And we didn't try to change it after it didn't work. It worked initially. I think we did like...
It worked great on organic.
Like 7,000.
And it
welcome,
started
guys.
to work on paid. Yeah. And it did not work.
And then it didn't. And then we actually discovered pretty quickly after talking with customers, we discovered pretty quickly why it wasn't working on cold traffic. And it's because when we wrote our copy, we made the assumption that people had ran YouTube ads in the past and either it didn't work or it stopped working and they wanted to fix it. But after kind of going out into the marketplace, we're saying that didn't work on ads. It didn't work. It started off really strong. It worked. We're seeing a great ROI. It did really well. Organic. And then obviously organic, you have a very small pool.
It's way different than paid.
Yeah, you run out very quickly. We ran out in like a week or 2 weeks on organic. And then we also about 2 weeks through ads. Now, one thing we could have done, and I don't know if it would have worked, right? But I'm actually fairly certain it would have, is just reframe, and not coming up with a new offer, but reframing that one to be more so about getting off Facebook, right? Because that's what the community, that's what the marketplace, that's what our customers were telling us. They actually said, well, I haven't ran YouTube ads before because it was scary. It seemed like a big investment, like time-wise and money-wise. Yeah. And so I've just been using Facebook ads. And then instead, if we angled about how Facebook ads are dying, they're saturated, blah, 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 whatever, which they're obviously not dying. That'd be fucking idiotic to say. But if we would have just switched that up, I think we would have started seeing much different results. So, it's entirely possible. You don't have to get a brand new offer. You can reposition. You could change the positioning entirely to where it even looks like an entirely different product. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So a lot you can do if something doesn't work. But obviously the easiest thing is just to start small and split test headlines.
Mike, I have a question for you because, in thinking about our offer, one of our mistakes is that we I feel like we try to go after a very specific type of audience, right? There's very few people that fit into the category that we were targeting. Now, you were talking about a funnel earlier where you had $600,000 of back-end sales, right? These are people, a lot of them converted into this high-ticket thing. So you attracted a really high-quality audience. Yeah, and they're probably also really good at sales too, but inside of that audience, there are a lot of people that are willing to fork over $30,000 for that mastermind. Yep. Right? This is high-ticket, good sales numbers, right? For the thing that brought them in, for that initial low-ticket offer that actually attracted them, was that how was that angled? Was that angled at a mass market, or did you specifically try to target a person that would buy that $30,000 thing?
So when we first kind of launched that offer, the clients that we were working with, they didn't let us know that they were already running ads or doing all this stuff, that they already had like a pool of people that they were talking to. Yeah. So we tried to go more broad with it, like literally anybody that was interested in investing in stocks. Yeah. And at that time, like the fucking market was crashing, and crypto was crashing, stocks were crashing, NFTs were crashing, literally everything was crashing.
Was it this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
And So a lot of the sales came from organic,
Okay.
which that's why like I tell people like you want to hit organic as well as hitting ads
Yeah.
and stuff like that because
Yeah, I'm learning that too.
yeah, if you can do both, like the people in organic, they're going to convert a lot easier, but ads will keep bringing those people in. So that way, when you do organic, it can kind of just, it's like an ecosystem where you don't want to just be running, like relying on one like social media platform where, like for a long time, I was really relying on Facebook. And the next thing you know, I get banned for 30 days and my entire lead flow is completely fucked. I can't run ads. I can't change ads. I can't do anything when I'm banned on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I started going to LinkedIn, and we've been closing one sale a month from LinkedIn, and that's kind of like really helped out. But when it comes back to like that offer and everything, we were focused on just like anybody that was really trying to invest. And then we started looking at, okay, they were already running ads. We found their like target audience was busy professionals that already have dabbled in the stock market, but they might not have had any really success in the stock market and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's when we started changing the messaging around. And I think we rewrote that sales page like 3 times before we actually got it to a point where it was bringing in a decent amount of people.
Yeah. So when it ended up in the final version where it started working, would you consider that a broad audience or a targeted audience or
more targeted?
More targeted?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
It looks like it's like an in-market audience, you know.
Yeah.
But it was still
Mid-size
essentially a B2C offer, right? Any kind of consumer that was interested in stocks could sign up, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Dude, there's so much money in that market. Clayton and I were just talking about it yesterday, like the whole crypto or investing market as a whole, because we were looking for a designer to redo their UI.
Yeah.
And it's like
everyone has
every
crypto
single designer, their whole portfolio was a bunch of fucking crypto designs they did. NFT designs, crypto exchanges. Dude, it's just crazy. There's a lot of money in that market, bro. Maybe we're all doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've always, my entire career has been in B2B. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the B2C market is just like it's enormous. So I mean, you can pull huge numbers anywhere, and there's benefits to both. But it's definitely fascinating because I've never really played in it. So yeah, man.
Yeah, I get like FOMO on it, but I just try to fucking ignore it. You know, I had my fun playing around with Voyager.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm like,
well, you know, when times are good, it's easy. And when times are hard, it's hard. You know what I mean? Like, and the thing is, you don't have much control over it. So, you know, you got to have a good mindset, I suppose.
But I mean, like they say, bad times create strong men.
Yeah.
And good times create cucks.
Well, I feel like we're
as close to what the saying is. Bro,
we are in a time right now where everyone's mindset needs to you know, be extremely strong, man.
It's like what we were saying at the beginning of the call, right?
Yeah.
We need to have that make it happen. America needs, and you know, really it's about the whole world. But right now I'm focused my mental on America, and like we need stronger individuals. We need stronger men. The women are actually pretty fucking strong right now already. Like you see women have gotten a lot of power over the past 30, 40, 50 years, you know, and I think that women are strong. Like if you talk to your wife ever, you know, there's no shortage of women who are willing to stick up for themselves, right? But when it comes to men, it's really just like getting a lot of fucking pushovers. You know, you see it all the time out on the streets. There's more and more feminine men, and I don't care. Do you like if you want to be feminine? But I mean, I don't know. It's like it doesn't help build a strong nation full of winners. When
I 100% agree. Like being in a relationship with someone that focuses a lot of their work on like the masculine, feminine archetypes and stuff like that. I feel like the reason a lot of women are becoming a lot stronger than they are now is because they don't have that masculine man in their life to allow them to feel safe being in their feminine energy. And that just really kind of makes them have to step into that masculine shit. That's why you see the women that are in like good relationships, kind of like your wife, she's able to step in like that, the feminine energy, and actually like feel safe and comfortable and everything in that. But then you look at
Austin's wife. No, I'm just kidding.
Talking mad shit.
I wasn't gonna go there, but
Now you're also coming out here.
but then like you look at some of these, like, I mean, we can say Joe Biden's wife, like
I
you
don't
could
know
tell
shit about them, but
just kind of like looking at her, she holds herself like strong and shit like that because she's
she
got
has to
more of the
carry
masculine.
him. So like fucking car, gotta carry
Exactly.
him,
Well,
gotta
okay, so-
carry him to the toilet, gotta fucking do this, and that.
So I'm curious, what are the characteristics of the masculine energy that you like to embody to, like, you know, like, I mean, how do you see that realistically in your life? Like, what are those things?
So masculine energy is like power.
For you.
It's how I see it is like power. It's direction. It's being able to lead your partner through life and into the vision that you guys are trying to create together.
Sure.
The feminine energy, how I see it, is somebody that like they like to be led. They need to be led in a sense, and they want to just feel like they're, I wouldn't say like catered to, but they're in a place where they can actually like be free spirited and don't have to be logical, because that's what I am. I'm super fucking logical when it comes to like setting goals and everything like that. I have everything kind of mapped out. Samantha, she kind of like, I wouldn't say goes with the flow, but she does have a lot of flow in her life and shit like that.
This is so crazy because Clayton and I were talking about the same fucking thing yesterday, and I'm saying there should be a pattern.
Well, I mean, like, there's universal kind of truths. Not everyone is exactly on the same levels, but and generally speaking, if you can understand the psychology of both, you know, like I can find myself getting mad sometimes because, you know, maybe my wife doesn't exactly think like I do, and then that's kind of ridiculous if you understand how people are different. Or if you're in business, you know, there's a lot of psychological tests that you can take. For instance, like the DISC model. One time we did that at our last business, and I found out that, well, I mean, we get along in many ways, and we have different strengths, but also we would speak to each other, and we wouldn't get along. And we'd be like, why don't you understand it? And then they'd be like, why don't you understand my position? And it's like, it's because actually people are different, and you can take these tests, and you can see how people think, and it's not because they don't understand, it's because they actually have a different personality. You know, they have different personality types, different motivators, all these different things. And so if you can understand those things, then you won't butt heads as much. You just understand the other person. You can work together better as a team. So that's why I like to try to identify, you know, what is this masculine energy? What does that entail? And what is the feminine energy? What does that entail? So when that comes up and those, you know, there's a conflict in the relationship, you can understand the other person better and take your position, you know, that they want you to take.
And when people, I just want to like point this out there for any viewers who are feeling angry or offended. Number one, look,
no one is. We only have the ultimate fans listening.
But there's no number one. But I just want to say this: like, I understand that a lot has changed in the past 100 years, or it hasn't even really been that long. Most of these changes.
A lot has changed in the last 100 years.
Yeah,
Yes.
but really, when it comes to the more like the shifts in, you know, male and female, whatever energies, I don't know, like where men are becoming more feminine, women are becoming more masculine and stuff like that. It's like, and you say things like women need to be led in a sense, right? And people say, oh no, blah, 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 things have changed now. And it's like, okay, yeah, things have changed.
Because times have been good.
But we have this little things in us called DNA. It's a blueprint for life. It's got all these memories, causes all these things. It's literally like what our ancestors have learned gets coded into a programming, which is our DNA, and it gets passed down. That's like how evolution works. It's how all these different things work, right? So all of like how we understand life to be in a subconscious level or from a bodily function level, like how our hormones and like how things work, is literally powered by hundreds of thousands of years of evolution. And I do not care how much has changed in the past 50 years. You do not undo hundreds of thousands of years in evolutions because social structures have changed a little bit in the past 50 years. Did the social structures change for the better? Fucking obviously, right? Women should have equal rights to men. They should have equal pay to men. Nobody fucking thinks differently. And if you do, you're a fucking asshole, right? But there are certain things just on a hormone level that you don't undo because these things have changed, right? Women Yes, they should have jobs if they want to. They should have equal pay if they want to. But like you said, there has been a programming, literal, in our DNA, right? Written in our genome that says men are like the leaders and women like to follow the leaders or whatever. I don't know what the fuck it is exactly, right? And that was obviously a really bad explanation. I feel like I was doing so well, and then I was like, and then the woman, then the woman said they need a leader, but no, right? But you guys get what I'm saying, right? Like, it's like we're trying to pretend. I don't know. Science is so fucking muddled right now. Like, oh, what is science? Good luck defining that one. But I don't know. I agree with the whole idea of masculine and feminine energy, just because this is what we needed to literally live up until we had, like mass agriculture and production and all that stuff. Like, society relied upon this for so long, and it is deeply ingrained within the code of the human body, and it would be just fucking dumb to ignore that. And that's what people do. They ignore it, and that's fine. You're allowed to do that, but
And to kind of tie
just 'cause you
this,
ignore it doesn't make it true.
yeah, to kind of tie this into like marketing and shit like that. If you can understand like where your target audience is, if they're women and you know that they have like that more masculine role in their life and that's who you're trying to target, you can speak to them on a completely different level and bring in that level of people. But if you notice that, most of your target audience is more feminine archetype, then you can speak to them like that too. Same thing goes for like men and women, like men. You can, if you notice that you got some fembros and everything in there, you can speak a little bit more feminine to them and kind of have like a more like emotional, psychological appeal and shit like that. But if you notice that they're like those fucking like gym bros and shit like that, you're going to speak to them a lot different than you would speaking to a liberal.
This can also be done through testing. I remember, I think I heard something from Hermosi, and he was talking about how, one evolution of your business is when you are no longer the front face of the business. So they had to put in different other people in the ads, and that happened to be some like younger women, some other dudes, and people with essentially different personality types. And that allowed them to actually reach a lot more people. Mm-hmm. Because if you just have you as the business and you're always on camera, there are some people that are just going to not vibe with you. They're not going to identify with you or whatever. You're missing out on the part of the market. So actually that weird thing that they thought, if you take me out of the business, then it's going to fail. It actually didn't fail. It actually opened them up to an entire new market. So it's also something that you could test.
On that note, though, about that, like, the biggest thing that business owners say about that, I feel like that's an important thing, what you just said about, like, the business is going to fail, right? The business owner's biggest fear of outsourcing is that the outsourcer won't be able to do as good of a job as them. And every single business owner has this fear. Literally every single one. Yep. And look, you have to accept the truth that, the quality will probably fucking go down. But there will be more of it. And it's like the quantity versus quality thing. Quality drops a little bit, right? But because there's so much more quantity, you're getting larger returns. And then you get even larger returns because you have that time freed up now, which gives you leverage. Leverage is the most important thing in a business, which means you can go work on more important or pressing tasks where when you put that leverage into it or pull the lever, it actually generates more money. So to business owners who are scared to outsource because of that, grow up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, one of the beautiful things that you did at SCUP is like you really don't have a face of the company. Like it's
trying.
SCUP, which I think that like if you look at a lot of these coaching businesses out there, they can't exit. And they can't exit because they are the face. And like if you wanted to, you could sell everything that you have and actually be able to have a profitable exit without you having to stay in for 5 to 10 years, like changing everything around so that way you're not the face of the company.
Yeah, I think you're right on some levels. It's something we need to work on a lot more. We definitely do it better than some other companies do. But we still have a lot. And I'm working on it every day. Like right now, I'm removing myself more and more. So I'm basically removed right now. I mean, when it comes to front-end marketing, other than being the presenter on a webinar or the presenter on a VSL, really people aren't going to hear from anymore. It's Matt right now, and we're working on getting Matt out completely. And I've even, like, we've built a great marketing team to the point where I'm now just more of a overseer.
A consultant almost.
Well, yeah, in a sense. I like to think of it as creative director. I'm an idea man and a creative director. I come up with ideas for products and, like, I understand what the market needs, and then I relay that to the team.
And based on your entrepreneurial, was it the entrepreneurial lens test we all took? Being a creator?
No, it was, what's that called? The Allen's
wealth
Ultimate Test?
The wealth
Dynamics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a creator, and then my secondaries are mechanic and star.
So, I mean, creator, that's exactly what you, like, thrive doing, is coming up with those ideas.
I never finish
just
anything.
telling the team, like, yo, bring this shit to life. And that's one place where I've been trying to step into more in my business, is bringing the people in and not so much being like the face of the actual company. I mean, people wanting to talk to me, because, like, it's hard when you're the face. Like, people don't want to talk to your closers. They want to talk to you because you're that person. And even Rob, like, he taught me something over the last couple weeks, kind of like what he's doing for the Hoth, I guess I believe that's who he's doing it for, where he's doing a lot of their welcome series and shit like that. And he's positioning as like a woman named, I don't even remember what her name is, but the executives there were like, what the fuck is this? Like, all the venture capitalists and shit. And they're like, what the fuck? And then next thing you know, they got like the reports back at the end of the month, and they realized that their shit's fucking dominating right now, because he's taking an approach that, like, is putting almost like a made up character as the voice that they're going to hear, but also putting it on like a level that isn't an authority to them, but is like almost like level with them, and somebody that it's just brilliant how he kind of put that together. So I think that is another way of, like, a lot of coaching businesses need to step into. And course creators, they need to figure out a way, how can I create all of this so that way when I do want to exit, my business is built to sell. A great book, by the way. Really helped me change shit around.
Oh, a great book?
Yeah, called Built to Sell.
Okay. Yeah, I love that book.
Yeah, really good book.
I think this is a natural evolution of the business, but hopefully, you have this idea of where it needs to go, because it can't be like that immediately. You are almost always like, the owner of the business is going to have to
do things that don't scale.
You're going to have to pick up things in the beginning of the business. You are going to have to be the face for a while, but hopefully, if you can understand that, if you really want to sell, you're probably going to have to get yourself out of it and develop systems for it all. If you know that game plan, you can progressively start doing that at the right time. Right? You got to prove out the model first and get revenue generating, get good systems going, but it can be done, I think. It can definitely be done, but it's also not easy, man. I have empathy for the people that are trying to do it. Just to rip yourself out and like delegate, it's kind of hard, man. It's like your baby to some extent, or it doesn't have to be hard, but it often is, especially your first time. But yeah, man, I think it can definitely be done if you try.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, like, even in the last 3 months, I've switched around like how a lot of my people get paid, how all the systems and everything are going. I'm bringing in an operations person right now to kind of look through like our onboarding system, our sales tracking system, and all this stuff, and building out dashboards. So that way I know the numbers every single day, because, like, I don't know. I know we're getting 1 sale a month from LinkedIn, but I don't know, like, what's the actual conversion rate to output to input to sales calls to people showing up and all of that stuff. So I'm getting all the shit in place where I can actually, like, know, okay, this is how many messages we're sending. This is how many responses we're getting. This is how many people are booking a call. This is how many people are closing. So I'll know every single number throughout the line. Same thing I want to happen with the new Facebook group that I just acquired. I want to have all of this data in a place where I know what mediums are actually monetizing and bringing in the revenue, so that way I can focus a little bit more on those areas and shit like that. And before, like last year, I was the face. I was the one generating all the leads. I was the one closing all the sales, like literally
still closing
everything.
All the sales.
I'm still closing all the sales, but that's actually something that I enjoy. I enjoy jumping on a phone call with someone and really looking at their business and kind of injecting, like you said, that belief in, like, this shit actually can work for your business. And I feel like that's one thing that I'm actually good at, and that's why I feel like I'm a good copywriter, is because I was a salesperson first, and then I became a copywriter, and I'm able to use
psychology.
Yeah, a lot of those tactics and stuff like that. And I like kind of hitting on that psychology point. One of the best things that I've like studied is how to talk to depressed people. How do you do that? And like, how can I inject that into like a sales letter? Whether that's somebody that's depressed, low emotional states, high emotional states, stuff like that. And how can I take them from being like that depressed person and kind of bringing them through that journey? And by the end of the sales letter, they're like, I'm fucking happy. Like,
how do you do that?
Let's do that. A lot of it's just understanding like where they're at. I know a lot of people will beat people down.
Yeah.
I'll ask like 4 questions at the beginning of a sales letter that kind of like hits on where they're currently at in their life and in their business and stuff like that.
Okay.
But then I'll bring them through an actual like journey that shows them like somebody else's journey almost, where they were in that position, and
So like the
it's kind of like
journey.
like almost like the empathy bridge, where you're just showing a whole bunch of empathy throughout the entire thing. You're not just beating them down.
Yeah.
Dude, I think that's so important right now too. People should really understand that, because there's 2 ways you can go with a brand right now. Because look, whether or not the White House wants to admit it, some sort of weird, funky recession shit's going on right now. Okay.
They changed that definition.
And with that, people are uneasy, they're unnerved, and stuff like that, right? So my copywriters sent me some emails to send, and it was like all just so negative, like, oh, the economy, blah, 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 like you're going to be screwed, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, guys, no, we're not this kind of brand. We inspire people, okay? We inspire them to action. That's how we get them to buy. We make them so excited that they want to buy. We don't make them so scared that they buy. And I was like, just think about this. Like, instead of saying, like, the economy's going to shit, everything's awful, say, look, I understand that the economy's bad, but if we look back historically, this is where all the money is made. And people are exiting the markets right now because they're scared. And what that means is you will be able to get customers for cheaper now, because the ad cost is cheaper because there's less people doing it and CPMs are down. I'm like, just reframing that makes
Our
things
CPMs
so
really down?
different. Oh, that's just like I don't know if people have stopped advertising yet or anything, but you get what I'm saying, right? Is like this, and that's why I said like historically. That's what has happened historically when we look back. Other businesses pull out while I,
put it in.
I remember when I originally learned that. It was probably like 2014, and I was reading the 10X rule, and Grant Cardone just talked about that and hammered it into my soul.
He tripled 10x down, I guess you could say.
I remember Grant Cardone. The thing that we're talking about is he says when a prospect has an objection, you agree with him, right?
Well, I was talking about what he had to say about recessions.
Okay.
And he was like, he basically talked about how he grew so much during the recession because everybody else was scared, and he spent 10x more.
All right.
I mean, it was a good book. He definitely hit on some really good points. And I know one of my people in my circle, they buy and sell businesses, and they said, yo, a recession is Black Friday for buying and selling businesses, man. Because there are people that are scared and want to get out, but that's where like people that aren't scared and have stuff kind of like the funds and every capital built up and all of that, like they can actually double down and they can like get in there, and then that business doesn't have to die. They can actually get in and actually keep that business thriving and healthy and shit like that.
This is just a reminder on how important the mindset has got to be. I mean, you can go into this and really feel like everything is going to go wrong and have a lot of fear associated with it, or you can go in and have a mindset that this is going to be a great opportunity for me to purchase other businesses, take advantage of that, buy stocks at low prices. So your mindset can really determine, your beliefs are going to determine your world. And so better make up some good fucking beliefs, I suppose, right?
Yeah, it's like COVID, man. Right when COVID came out, everybody thought the world was fucking ending. Yeah. And then you see all these, like, we could say gyms, they repositioned and they started doing like online courses or online classes and shit like that. And they started thriving because now, like, they're still paying for the rent and everything at the actual places, but they, like, some of them even like got out of their lease and everything there, and now they're only doing online stuff.
That's wild, dude. So,
you
you can you can use it to, if you have the right beliefs, you can find opportunities anywhere, I suppose.
All right, I want to get into something interesting. We've already been, look, right now we're at a crossroads, boys. We've been going for an hour and 10 minutes.
Oh shit.
I'm down to
So
keep
easy.
I'm down to keep going because I think that there's still a lot of interesting things I want to talk about, which is like horror stories and stuff from your business. But if you guys want, we can just call it here. So
I like horror stories.
I say we keep going. Can I get a show
go.
of hands?
Yeah, go.
All right. So we'll keep going.
Only
That's
hands.
it. You're going to get a little
Bonus
bit more
round, baby.
fucking Rowdy Boys info.
This is a
And now this
bonus
ad is
round.
brought to you by Roseanne.com. Are you a coach, influencer, or course creator? Do you want to send texts and make more money? Do you want to get us to help you fill up those webinars with sweet, sweet attendees who show up and buy your stuff? Great. Go to Roseanne.com, sign up for a free trial. Hit us up. We'll help you get everything implemented. We recently wrote text for one of our clients for their webinar promo. They did $370,000. Yes, that was from one webinar. Yes, you can do the same. Maybe if you have a huge list, I don't know, but we can definitely help you make more money from your existing clients as well as just make more money overall. Texting is a great way to increase your sales and better engage your contacts. Right now, we're seeing an 11.5x ROI, which means for every $1,000 I spend on texting, I make $11,500 back. I view it as an advertising medium because you pay to send each text, so you should view it that way too. That being said, if you do want to send text messages, just go to roseanne.com, sign up today, and me and your boy Clayton here will help you out. That was a totally unplanned, improvised ad that I did.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Just because Clayton and I were talking yesterday and said, we should probably do Roseanne ads. So I was like, now's my time. Anyways, back to the show. So, Michael, I just want to know, this is something that we started doing like 2 or 3 episodes ago. Do you have like a horror story from a client that you feel comfortable sharing? Like the worst fucking thing that ever happened?
So we can learn from it. So we can all learn from it.
Yeah, so we can all laugh at it.
Yes, but before I get into that, I kind of want to add to your commercial. Well, if you want to stop cucking to your competitors, well, they are sitting there stealing all of your market share, selling all of your shit.
Oh my God.
You can stop cucking by sending text messages. Because not only do they, it's like, what is it, 95% of the people that get a text message, they open it within 5 minutes?
98, baby.
Wait, that stat, I don't know.
Okay.
I actually read that stat yesterday, and I can't remember which one it was. But
I thought it was about 95% open it within 5 minutes of you sending the text.
what I do know is 98% of people do open texts, and they have a 20% click-through rate, which is, it gives me a boner to think about. I'm not going to lie. If anybody sees the table raise a little bit right now, it probably won't, 'cause it's not that big. But
Yeah, because I mean, what I mean about like cucking to your competitors is like you're watching them, you're sitting there on the sidelines, watching them succeed, watching them make all of these sales, and you're just completely missing out on that because you don't want to leverage one of the best platforms to really increase your LTV
Look at this guy.
and all that shit
Just have him do
by
that.
sending SMS.
we didn't even pay him.
So make sure
Yeah.
when you type in roseanne.com,
client.
you do like the percentage sign and then put Michael at the end.
That's his affiliate link.
Affiliate link, Mike.
So Michael
All right.
is a power user of ours and also our top affiliate. So good guy. Fucking love this guy. It's all his clients on Roseanne. So,
Yeah, I mean, if you're not using SMS, like you're
What are you doing?
losing so much money.
anyways, let's get back to it. That was too long of an ad slot. We want to keep
Yeah,
integrity
45-minute ad.
in enjoyment and fun in the show.
I think it was
So,
pretty fun.
Back to the horror stories, Roseanne.com. Back to the horror story. Yeah, like I think I told the story the other week, but I can't remember what it was. But like, what was a real, like, holy shit, this is fucking stupid experience, or something really funny, or something that happened?
I lowered our funnel builds from 15,000 plus a percentage to 5,500 plus a percentage because this customer that I brought on said that they were making $50,000 a month. So I figured, if we come in here, kind of build out a new funnel, we can really get them to $100,000 a month within 60 days. Like that was our straight goal.
You felt comfortable because you thought you'd make the money through the percentage instead, the equity.
100%.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we thought. And they brought on a media buyer. They paid the media buyer. And I'd say within, so first of all, the communication was not there. Like they were not communicating with me. They weren't communicating with our team. We'd have to reach out. Sometimes we wouldn't get like a message back for like 2-3 weeks.
Oh my God.
And we're trying to build up this funnel. And dude, it took 4.5 months to build a funnel, which should have taken 3 weeks.
Damn.
Just because there wasn't communication, where I'm putting like company resources, like money, all this stuff into building this out. And then all of a sudden we launched it. We did about $23,000 in ticket sales for the launch. But they just, like that communication wasn't there.
Yeah.
And we weren't able to really transition the people into their higher ticket program. And then we were supposed to stay on because we had 10% equity in everything. And we were going to start sending out emails and SMSs and all this stuff. And she told everybody that the offer that we were selling on the back end was closing for a year. So we had no like offer to bring people into after all that shit was done. Cause I don't do fake scarcity. If you're going to tell people it's closed for a year, then it's going to be closed for a year. Yep. And because of the communication and everything, I just like left. So we probably ended up making like, I think $7,000 out of,
including that initial payment.
Yeah. So total $7,000.
Yeah.
Just for my copywriter, I probably paid like $10,000 just to come in and write some of the stuff and everything. And it just, this person paid the media buyer. To top that off, they ran ads for 2 days, turned off all the ads, and told the media buyers that they don't want to run ads anymore because
we're only getting 15x ROI.
So
stupid.
So what did you learn from it? What changed in your business after that?
Qualifying people more, communicating.
How do you actually qualify people?
A lot of the times it's during the call, during the initial call that I have with them.
You just say like, "Hey, are you a little bitch? You're gonna run around in circles."
Do you know how to respond to emails, dude?
And what's crazy is some of them are so good at pretending they're something until you're like, it's like being in a relationship.
Yeah.
Where you can pretend like you're this fucking king that this lady wants and like you're everything she wants.
I still pretend like that.
And then 2 to 3 months down the line, you're like, man, I'm fucking exhausted from being somebody I am not. Bro. And then it just completely just unravels and they see your true picture and then you're just a fucking dick. And
dude, that's like, but that is really like a huge problem in our industry.
Yeah.
Like, as you guys know, I sued a guru who is like, "Oh, I'm making $40,000 a day. I'm rich, blah, 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 blah." He stole our content, sold it as his own. And we had copyright on it. Like, we file copyright for our shit so people don't steal it. It was software.
Crazy,
it was software and a course that was stolen and they sold it as their own. So anyways, we sue this guy. A fucking little crybaby starts calling me, crying. Obviously, I don't answer because I talk to my lawyers. And anyways, so a year and a half goes by with the lawsuit, and we're like kind of getting the impression he doesn't have money because he keeps telling us. Meanwhile, he's still posting on Facebook and Instagram about how rich he is and shit. So, I mean, like, eventually, we won the lawsuit, and he made his first payment. We gave him a payment plan. We didn't even take that much money from him. It was multiple six figures. I can't really get into like the exact number, but and I gave him a really generous payment plan where they'd be paying less than $10,000 a month. And he made his first payment, and then time for the next payment. Oh, it's late. And then he emails my lawyers, and he's like, I think he sent like a small amount, like $2,500 or something. And he's like, I'm still committed to paying the entire amount, but this month I can only afford to send $2,500.
I got to find another course to rip off, so I can't make the
that's
payment.
just literally
It's all lies.
Just to go back to what you said though about people putting on a good face. Like, if you look at this guy on Instagram or whatever, like,
flexing hard.
Dude, he's flexing, and I didn't even care. I knew we were going to lose money on this lawsuit. Like, I probably spent somewhere around like $80,000 or $100,000 on lawyer fees. And honestly, I didn't care because to me, it was more about the principle. I'm like, I want to inflict pain upon this person because I am so sick of how people act. I'm so sick of people faking it. I believe in hard work. I believe in building your own shit. And I want to make an example out of people who think they can cheat the system, steal others' work, and then lie to people and pretend that they're hot shit. So,
Yeah.
But dude, back to what you were saying, like with that client, I'm honestly surprised they even paid you, after that initial payment, because those kind of people that don't respond to you, they don't pay you either. So like, I am
Luckily, they paid
super
the
surprised
equity.
you got your equity payment out of that, because that is fucking crazy.
They paid that on time,
So,
which
dude, with your equity deals, this is something I'm interested about, because you talk to me about your business model all the time. So if you guys can't tell, we're friends. Like we're friends outside of the podcast.
gives me little handies under the table every other day.
Under the table hand jobs. Not often, only when he sends new affiliate sales. So you better send some. But I've been curious about like how this whole equity thing works, and this is actually interesting too, because our last 4 guests have all done this. Think about it. We have Andy. He takes percentage of webinars.
Yep.
Chris takes percentages of the funnel. Rob tries to take percentage of some of his client stuff after they reach a certain percentage of revenue. Then it becomes a percentage of sales generated, which is basically like profit sharing, similar to equity, right? So how does it work for you? Are you only taking like a percentage of this funnel, or are you taking a percentage of their entire business, or is it just that front end product? So like,
is it also off of revenue generated then, not
profit
profit
generated?
Do you actually look at the P&L and?
So we've had different terms for a couple different people.
Yeah.
Right now I have pretty much, if the sale comes from the front end or a lead comes from the front end and it converts into anything on the back end, we get 5% of the revenue, which is like before ad spend, like all of it.
Gross revenue.
So we get 5% of all of that. I've had some people in the past where we minus ad spend.
Yep.
But then I don't like doing that, because I've had people try to just spend ridiculous amounts on ads in an unprofitable fashion. So that way they didn't have to pay us, but they still had all the leads in the funnel that we've built. So that way they can turn that shit into stuff like after they exit the agreement and everything like that.
That's why aligning incentives is like so important, and often hard to do.
Yeah.
There's second order consequences of all the decisions. So yeah, okay. Cool,
I mean,
man.
dude, I think it is important. Aligning incentives is huge. On my team with my copywriters, they get 5% of all sales that they generate, because I want them to be invested. Yep. Because when you think about it this way, dude, when you have someone invested in something like that, it's like they own a piece of the company. They're more proud of it. They're excited about the work they do. And it gives them the ability for an employee to really, I guess, choose their own path, right? Because it's like, as hard as you want to work, you make more money. If you're willing to do better work and make the company more money and make our clients happier and blah, 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 right? Whatever, you get paid more. And I was like, now it's your responsibility. You're an owner. Go own it. Go fucking crush it. Since I started doing that, dude, results have been outstanding.
Great.
So
Love it.
good. Such quality, arousing work. And also, I want to apologize. I know I keep looking at my phone to the viewers and to you guys. I'm dealing with support fire, but the fire has been put out.
Nice. By
I'm like the
It's
kind of person
delegated.
I can't ignore. There's like, when it comes to customer support, and you probably are seeing this work with me at Roseanne, I'm always like, we need to figure it out right now.
yeah.
Austin, call Austin.
Well, dude, you were talking about client communication earlier. There's so many companies that are so bad at it that I've always taken it as a really high priority. In the beginning of the Hoth, like, customer support was huge for us, because in the SEO industry, it's not really known for great customer support. It's kind of like a dark art industry, I guess, to some extent. And I just remember being on the phone with AT&T and how much I hate the 400 phone numbers you have to go through to get to an operator to talk to somebody. Like, I hate it. So I was like, okay, we're always going to have great support. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that carried along through the years, and I think it was a part of our success. I think it's what I will always try to have. It's an idea to go above and beyond.
Yep.
And if you can, if every business had that, man, our world would work, amazingly. You know what I mean?
I mean, dude, I don't understand the thought process behind having bad support. Like, oh, wow, you saved a few dollars. And you lost a fucking customer that would have bought more shit, so you're actually net negative.
I know where it comes from, though. I know where it comes from. Because a business gets big enough, and it's hard to stop a big business.
Yeah.
If you have a small business and you have bad support, dude, you could lose you have 10, 20 customers. You lose a couple, the whole business goes. So you have to have good support. Once a business is big enough, and you just start looking at, you stop looking at like real situations, you start looking at asset allocation or capital allocation. Okay, how much does this department cost? Can we shave it off? And then do we lose customers? Because a lot of times if you're big enough, even if you have bad support, you're not going to lose customers.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean it's right.
Like
doesn't mean
Apple,
you should.
because
I'm saying it's possible.
Yeah, I guess I should have worded what I was saying a little bit better. I totally understand that, right? Like, I have bad experiences with Bank of America, for instance, and I still love Bank of America's, and whatever. But I guess I meant more so like smaller to mid-sized
smaller
businesses,
business, I think,
or like a
support's gonna be
restaurant or
top.
something like that, right?
Exactly.
Like, I don't understand it. Or even realtors. I've had really bad support from realtors.
That's a
Which is
wild one
nuts.
because they should not. That should be. That is only support industry. That's your entire
They should
job.
be
Is support.
licking between your toes.
Yeah. No, I've had the same problem. Yeah.
But I've had like, realtors that I can't get to pick up their fucking phone or answer an email. It's like, I just don't understand it. Like, I'm trying to give you money. I want so badly to give you money. Please respond. What's the deal? I mean, that was years ago, but still. And then I even thought, like, dude, maybe I should start a real estate brokerage. And then I realized to start a real estate brokerage, there's a test you have to take, and it requires you have a high school diploma. So I was like, it's fucking stupid.
You can pay somebody else to take that test for you. Still own the company. That's my baby. Yeah.
Whoa. I know, but anyways. So what about, like, do you have any really funny shit that happened? Like, we had a client and something really funny happened sometime, maybe? Hello? Is this thing on?
I mean, not really funny.
Michael's like, you think my business is a joke?
I had one client that was a pickup artist, a 2-time award-winning pickup artist.
What awards?
Wow. How do you win awards for being a pickup
What are
artist?
they called? The Bonies?
I don't even know, but like it was like a white label deal almost. So we had to go through another company that kind of had him as a client. And I don't know if you ever looked at some of these like dating coach pickup artist dudes. They look fucking weird.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a
space-
YouTube video I saw making fun of him in Channel 5, I think, news.
This space is really interesting, and I think it's changed a lot over the years because a lot of the old pickup stuff, which used to be kind of more tricks, has actually changed to charisma. And I think overall,
I like
it's
the tricks.
Overall, I think it's gone in a positive direction.
Dude, look, pickup's fucking awesome. I don't do it or whatever. I'm married, but I did utilize it. Like, I don't know. Raise your hand if you've been on RSD, if you were a reader.
Yeah.
Just me?
Yeah.
No. Okay, so we got two of us. You didn't go on RSD? Real
You never heard
Social
of it?
Dynamics? Whatever.
Dude, when I saw
children.
well, first of all, when I saw Mystery the first time on MTV, I was like fascinated because I was just like a
saw
dork.
what?
Still am a dork. Mystery on the Mystery Method, dude. You don't remember this?
No, I never heard of that.
Oh, dude, he was like the OG. He's like the OG guy. He had the show. It wasn't on MTV. It was on like VH1 or something like that, where it would actually show him like helping other dudes like pick up. That's where I first like heard about it, and then came into RSD. But that shit is fascinating.
I thought of another funny client I had.
Yeah.
He had a low ticket course on how to become a sugar daddy.
Oh wow!
And he was actually
There's a market
from
for
the
anything,
St. Pete area, man.
What's his name?
I can't say his name.
Fuck. I want to know. What if I mute your mic?
But like, dude, I had to like blur out all the girls' faces that he was with because I don't know how old they were or what.
No.
Like, they weren't underage, but they were definitely like 18, 19 years old, and he was like 50, 55 and shit like that. And we wrote the VSL, we wrote everything, and he paid us 50%, and all of a sudden he just like dipped out. Hasn't messaged us.
So you never tried the offer in the
No, we never tried the
It'd
offer
be
or anything like
fascinating,
that.
dude.
Yeah.
There's like a market for almost anything, It's
Oh,
just-
100%. We had one client, they were teaching people how to create home decor, like the reefs that you would just tie the shit together. And they were doing over $1 million a year just teaching people that. Because
Dude, that's crazy.
There's money everywhere, dude.
And what's crazy is they didn't have a funnel in place when we first started working with them. they had 3 different offers that they didn't really like cross sell or anything like that. So I figured out, okay, this is going to be the best path to take these people through, which was the first one was the home decor coaching. Then they had a second offer, which it was like a more of a business coaching where they taught people how to create an Etsy store selling that home decor. And then they had a third offer, which we used as a downsell, which was $8 a month. Each of them was a continuity offer. Yeah. And it was $8 a month where they got discounts on all the like materials and shit that they would need to create the home decor. Mm-hmm. So what we did is we brought their sales page and their front end funnel from 1% conversions to 9.5% sales on the front end.
Sick.
And then we were getting a 54% upsell take on that business coaching thing. And then the $8 a month one, there was one point we had 300 people go through the funnel. We were getting a 98% uptake on the $8 a month offer.
That sounds abnormal.
Which fucking
I mean, it's great though. That's amazing.
It's $8 a month, and they save money through the home decor that they'd get before. But within the first 30 days of launching that, we had a 50% discount on the monthly membership of the first offer, just to get people in. So it was like $12.50 a month. We did, I think it was like $35K within the first 30 days through this funnel. It was all recurring.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Nice job.
Yeah, that is funny.
And I look back, and they're still running the same copy. They changed the design a little bit, but they're still running the same copy after 2.5 years.
Those equity deals is when you get
I would have been
doing equity sooner, man.
And these fucking people wouldn't give us a testimonial.
That's sometimes people don't want to give credit for it. They want to take all the
credit.
The
proof is talking the talk. You know what I mean? If you can explain the story and what you did, I mean, it's big.
You have a case study around it.
Yeah. Bring to you.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right. So who is the perfect client for you? If people are out there listening, like, who would be a great client for you?
They're doing $50K a month. They could already be running ads, or they're to a point where they know that in order to actually scale their business past what they're doing right now, they need to start running ads. We don't necessarily run the ads, but we have some amazing partners that we work with that do that side of everything. But we build out the entire client acquisition system, and then they do like the media buying and everything for that. So if you're already doing $50K a month, you have a course, high ticket program on the back end. What we can do is we can help build out some lower ticket offers, or help build out an actual event where it's a virtual event. You do it online, kind of like this. You just bring people through. We help structure that. You do the actual teaching and building that out. But we help structure how each day should go, so that way we can tiptoe them to that higher ticket offer of what we're going to pitch on the back end. If it's a low ticket thing, again, we help structure all those offers. We pretty much build everything out. You just get your beautiful face on camera and record that shit, and we do the rest.
Sick, dude. And where can people contact you?
You can go to adsandfunnels.org, or you can find me on Facebook, Michael Kelly, facebook.com/ I believe it's real Michael Kelly, and you can
not the fake one.
Contact me there.
Michael Kelly.
Fuck that motherfucker. That's the dude that was in. He stole my shit on Instagram. It was the guy that was in House of Cards.
I have to fucking Google this.
There's a guy named Michael Kelly from House of Cards.
Right. So, all right. Anyways, it's adsandfunnels.org.
Yep.
Okay. So if you guys want to work with Michael, how are you taking on new clients right now?
Yeah, we do anywhere from 2 to 3 new clients per month. We try to keep it low, so that way we can give you the attention to detail that you need and actually scale your business.
And if there was like 5 bullet points of what you provide and what the outcome is, what would that be?
We build out your offer. We write all of your copy. We allow you to focus on your zone of genius, so that way you can just focus on coaching, and we do the entire marketing. You can look at it as like your virtual CMO, where we come in, you pay one low fee, and you get our entire team. I was doing the math the other day. If you want to hire a CMO, to kind of manage everything, and then hire the 10 people that are on our team, you'd be looking at about $600,000 a year in salaries. You can hire us for 15% plus 10% of all the revenue that we generate for you. So that way you can save a couple $100,000 a year and we make sure that we scale your business. Otherwise, we don't get paid more than what we're actually worth.
Yeah, and another thing is you don't when you hire people, you usually have to train them and get them ramped up. You can hire you immediately. You're already trained. You already know what to do. You're already ramped up. So that's one of the benefits of hiring an agency.
I mean, you can train him in a sexual way. You know what I'm saying? Like, not like train as in teach, train as in like choo choo.
Oh my god!
Anyways, guys, I can vouch.
The crassness of this podcast is off the charts.
It's pronounced rowdy.
Crass level
Look at this.
10.
What am I? Salt shaker.
Oh my god!
So, guys,
Crass at number 11.
I can vouch for Michael. I've worked with him before. He's worked on our funnels. Just kind of like not in the same capacity, but whenever we have work that we need done in a timely manner, we bring it to Michael, and they always do an excellent job. So I highly recommend adsinfunnels.org, or you can find Michael Kelly on Facebook. He's being very lewd. But dude, thank you for joining.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming on, bro.
That's the Rowdy Boys Fist Bump, and now we get to do our outro. So guys,
1 sec. Before you do the outro,
Okay.
onlyfans.com/real Michael Kelly if you want to subscribe to my feet pics.
is that real?
That's actually one of the biggest things that actually
Fucking
took my...
going right now.
It helped my business. We'll say put 1 foot forward and get a running start.
Onlyfans.com. I don't believe you. /real Michael Kelly. Okay. Nope. He's a fucking liar. All right.
It's not up anymore?
No, it's not up. All right. So
That's what
guys,
she said.
if you have not yet liked, commented, and subscribed on YouTube,
What are you doing?
there it is. Oh, God. If you haven't yet liked, commented, or subscribed on YouTube, ensure you do that now. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure you leave a 5-star review with text, as well as subscribe. And look, I just realized that Spotify now allows you to rate podcasts.
Oh,
so if
wow.
you're listening on Spotify, make sure you give us a 5-star review and subscribe. Share with your friends. I know that we did do a Roseanne sponsor today, but like we don't do this podcast to make money. We do it for fun. So if you want to repay us, all we ask is you share the podcast if you found it valuable. Also, you can go to rowdyboys.net to sign up for our email list. We recently moved that shit over to ClickFunnels because WordPress sucks big fat balls. But guys, that's it for today. Michael, thanks for having us on the podcast. Let's do a
Dude, thanks for
joining
here.
our podcast. Thanks for having us. That was a 3-way
That's super
fist
fun,
bump.
man.
And
Thanks
none
for
of the
coming on.
fists were on. I was watching the TV to see if we were on there, and we weren't. But guys, I'm Devin Zander.
Clayton Johnson.
Thank you guys for listening. We are the Rowdy Boys. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
All right,
Get
see you guys.
rowdy or die trying.